G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's video on YouTube. I'm going to be doing something a little bit more different than what I normally tend to do on my backyard garden tours. This time here, it's going to be a bit of a, let's just say a bit of a walkthrough. And I mean, it's almost like, I'm just walking around the backyard garden, but I'm also specifically going to be doing something a bit different so far, because, I'm going to be doing a bit more gardening than usual. And yes, of course, as you can see, the snow has basically molten. If you think back to like last week, yes, we experienced a really bad cold snap so far. I did look at the weather forecast, and I think from next week, I think the week after next week, or should I just say the week after this one, I did hear that cold temperatures are going to be coming back. Not a great sign, but who knows? For those who love winter, man, this could be a really good treasure. To what oh my goodness me, what the heck is that noise going on here in the background? Let me just, I'm not going to encroach, but I'm actually going to crawl up towards what the hell is with that noise going outside of the mountain here. I'm just going to squeeze past by the most dangerous bits of, I don't know, spiky, wikey type looking plant things. Oh man. Can't these blackberry shrubs give themselves a freaking rest? I mean, I've ranted so much about these and they still haven't been cut down. That just shows you how neglected that this plant has been. It's not really good news. And apparently I'm actually hearing something that's a bit strange. What the hell is going on here? I'm actually hearing something that's not really that great to hear. Oh well, let's just step away from this. Very impressively, guess what I saw? There's actually something I've never ever expected to really appear in my backyard garden. And it's actually something that I usually tend to see during the autumn months or the late summer sort of period. And it's these two. Apparently what I've realised on my neighbour's tool shed, or is it like a little summer house? Apparently what I can see here, you can see it clearly, but what I'm actually seeing here is something that's a bit totally different. I can see something that's a little bit red in the middle here. I think what I'm looking at here, if I go ahead and grab my finger, it's a little bit rough. I was taking over the whole video. If I point my finger there, where my finger is, that there is a pair of ladybirds. Quite strange to see ladybirds during the month of January, but I'm not actually totally surprised because I actually had a few ladybirds inside in my, well, let's just say small room. And basically, when I was transferring from one room to the other, it was painful, but mind you, seeing those ladybirds was an absolute gem. Quite interesting, wasn't it? And of course, yes, I'm going to go ahead and pass through because there's a lot more to get through in this video. And yes, I'll be planting some strawberries later on today. Of course, yes, I'm actually seeing lots and lots of plant pots with a lot of weeds and other whatnot that shouldn't be around. Strange, isn't it? But then, hey, I've actually got a lot of plant pots right over here, and that there used to be filled with ice. These big plant pots that are filled with nasty bits of soil here? I might have to definitely clear these up and make way for some new bits of plant stuff. And yeah, although there's a lot of like wet, groggy looking soil right there, I'm going to clear these maybe in another gameplay or another walkthrough of this tour. Now, of course, yes, I shouldn't say the word gameplay because I don't play video games that much. Well, maybe I should. The wild cabbage, yes, I've seen that before. Has it really been thriving that well? It looks like it has, but I'm going to try it a bit more so that this plant can be a bit more healthy again. But what I noticed is that this plant has started to age a bit during this time of year. It's already coming up towards springtime. The birds are starting to sing here. And I'm starting to see new buds that the trees are regenerating for spring of this year. And in essence, we are coming up towards spring, and I'm actually being prickled by a nasty pair of spikes again. What's up with the spikes taking over my goddamn garden? That's not a very good sight to see. And what is that? What is that thing there? At first glance, it's a little cocoon out of a caterpillar or something like that, but I don't think it is. And then we've also got some more weed stuff, some more plant pots with like weeds and whatnot. Everything was all cultivated, but now everything has been totally abandoned because of me, but also because of seasonal changes. Yes, of course, it's quite wet and groggy. Again, what is wrong with this backyard garden looking all completely filled with thorns, spikes, and weeds? That's not a very good sight to see. Somehow, not very good to know. But apparently I can see a black... That's quite a bit of a first glance, seeing one, although I probably have seen lots and lots of blackbirds many, many times. I bet they're going to be very common as the weather gets warmer, because they will start to develop their famous dawn chorus song, as I like to call them, because, hey, that's what birds do during spring. When the weather gets warmer, they start to chirp to find a mate. And it's freezing cold. I think, again, as I said earlier on before, next week is going to be completely cold as hell. Right, there's a lot of like dead nasturtiums, as you can see here. Not much, but out of the ordinary. There's a lot of dead nasturtiums, zinnias, whatever the hell am I looking at. It's actually quite a bit somehow strange, isn't it? Yeah. The thing is, I can't start to do a bit of gardening until the weather gets warmer. But yeah, you can see all these weird flower beds. They're all and groggy. I'll have to replace some fresh new compost at this time here. As time goes by, huh? You know what? That would be a really good idea to do so. Yes, all these plant pots here. I do have new ones as well. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go ahead and start to do a bit of gardening. And I've actually still got this old bag of compost inside of here as well too. So today I'm going to be going a bit of strawberry action, I suppose. Hey, it's probably best to grow them inside, maybe inside of your house, because if you do it outside a little bit too sooner, they'll probably potentially die. They're ideal for kids because, hey, who knows? Right, let me just go ahead and start growing some strawberries, and I'll tell you what, it may not be that simple, and there's also a bit of mealworm action. I've left a little bit of mealworms. Basically I've left them inside here, which is not that great, because honestly they should have actually been flung up towards the birds earlier on, like so, because that would have been a lot much more sooner than later, practically of course. And inside here I've got a tub full of what looks like to be it looks like a mixture of nasturtiums. I could probably find a little envelope, or probably store them in another envelope where there's a lot of nasturtium seeds. I highly am trying to look forward to basically drying these guys up in preparation for this year's spring. Obviously, most of it is probably from like last year. To look after nasturtium seeds, harvesting them, it's a bit difficult actually. But I got one which looks like that, which might be very good to probably start off growing them for the start of the year. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some gloves before I start gardening. Okay, I've got some gloves, and I'm about to go ahead and start growing some strawberries. There are some propagating trays that I do have, but I like to use like a shopping carton with like holes in it, which actually act as drainage holes, which is good or bad or indifferent. What I'm gonna do is probably unpack the seeds themselves. Maybe it's probably best for me to have a look at what is going on inside. Yes. Oh, we've got one of these little bits as well. Okay, so I've got one of these what do you call them? Plant containers. My gloves are alright. They do work with what There's also some of these old bits of compost that can still be reused. as well. I do have tons of them in the backyard garden to basically be reused. Am I seeing more? No, I'm not actually seeing that much. What about the other bags? I think as the weather gets colder, obviously I seem to use up so much compost. Yeah, I haven't got that much compost, so I might have to probably head outside for a bit. I'll be right back again from the time being here before I start growing some more. There you go, it's not the best, but I've actually filled up some compost from another tray, so that's what I've just done so far. I wonder how this is going to turn up. Is it all going to be bagged up inside? I think on the back of the packaging they do tell you to actually sow these seeds right through around. I think let me just double check. I don't know how the seeds are being packed actually, because I've got no idea how they've been packed inside. I don't know how they're like. So I'm seeing lots and lots of like little tiny seeds. They are very small. I've never noticed why the seeds are absolutely small. Quite interesting. I could probably use that to make a bit of space somehow. That will basically help space out a bit of strawberry action. I could have also just watered the compost first, or the soil, because that would have helped even more. But this is just me having a bit of a rough attempt at growing strawberries. I mean, not everything is all going to work out well. But what I'm doing is, hey, I'm hoping to prepare to grow a bit of strawberry action. And I think most of these would have came from like actual bits of fruit. Again, I'm spreading the seeds a bit more by just doing it with my rough and ready looking hands or gloves. So hopefully the seeds are a bit spaced, a bit more so. Although I could probably exchange it for another cup or so. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them into the... I'm going to water these guys down. The strawberry. I've actually watered the strawberry container for a bit. Now it is very wet. It's also very groggy as well too, because it is also integrated with all of that mud as well too. I'm gonna drain some of this just a bit more because I want the water just to basically dry a bit more. I want the strawberry container to actually be not too wet. I don't want it to be absolutely flooded. I want it to be like, let's just say moist. Okay, so they really do require moist conditions, and hopefully after that, I'll take it indoors and see how they grow, because I'm sure that the soil is going to be really good. I could have done it with a bit of compost, but yeah, that was just me growing a bit of strawberry action, so who knows? Could this plan work, or could this plan utterly fail? I'm quite curious about that, but that is just me growing a bit of strawberries. I think there's alpine strawberries. I just poured a little bit out because I think I've made it a little bit too wet. I could have set a bit more compost, but I think that should be alright for the time being here, that should be good from now on, I guess. We'll just have to see if these guys fail or succeed throughout this season. I think to grow strawberries, you do really have to use like tomato or banana to basically make themselves fertilized. I don't have any more fresh compost anymore now, so I might have to probably wait until the spring. Yeah, it's not that great. I'm just gonna basically look at that. It's like I'm adding flakes with milk, isn't it? It's like chocolate cereal, but even more gross. Right, so that was me growing a bit of strawberries here. Now there is one more thing that I gotta really add before ending this video here. And I actually haven't been doing any toy reviews, which is a bit sad actually. Oh man, Jeez, the water is absolutely freaking cold. God damn it. Anyways, so yes, as you heard me earlier on, I haven't been doing any toy reviews, which obviously isn't that great, but I will hopefully return to do a bit of toy reviewing, hopefully sometime in the future, and I can see a little robin that's basically foraging on the ground here, looking for insects and other things. Quite nice, isn't it? And yeah, I actually haven't been doing any toy reviews for a long period of time because of the constant movements that I've got in my house. And it's very much peculiar, isn't it, somehow? I think I'm going to have to wait until like next week's Thursday to try and move all of my furniture back to the big room of where I usually film. To be honest, it still doesn't feel exactly the same of what my YouTube channel actually feels like. You know what? You know the drill. I think more likely these days I tend to film places elsewhere other than just my house. See, which is the current one that I'm living in. In fact, the one I'm currently living in now is totally and utterly different. Yeah, and I do apologise for not doing any tour reviews because of this message that I'm just throwing in, and it all seems to make far a bit more sense than one would pretty much assume. So yeah, I haven't been doing any tour reviews, so you might as well have to wait for any confirmations yet to be decided. At the moment I'm still not yet ready to do toy reviews, so just please give me a bit more time to take myself a bit of break. And there's a robin and there's also a dunnock. Quite nice, the two songbirds that are just straightforward foraging around here. It's quite nice to see them actually. So yeah, sorry for the rough and ready speaking here. I can't really speak that well because obviously I'm just switching side to sides of whatever subject I'm talking about because I got birds right in front of me. And yes, I'm also thinking about, my YouTube channel is kind of stuffed so far in a similar fashion to what I did in 2025 and 2024. My YouTube channel was a lot much more back then in, I think the last time it was, I think it was 2023. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I think that's going to be about it in today's video here. These are the strawberries I've just planted. I might have to probably take them inside because it's looking way too cold for the strawberries to germinate. I don't think these guys would work via cold stratification. I might probably put somewhere where it's a bit more warmer. But if I have to, I might have to probably cover up with a bit of newspaper because the unfortunate part is that there's a lot of dirtiness right over my house. Oh well. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but I just need to find a very good area to keep them warm. Or maybe I can just make like a heated propagator tray and see how they will germinate. I don't know. It all somehow takes a bit of time to get used to. I think after planting these, we'll see how they fail or see how they succeed. Maybe I need a straightforward clean up, a bit much more groggy soil here. It's still looking a little bit like I could have just used compost for that one. Maybe if I sprinkle a bit of compost, that would probably stop the entire amount of mess from developing here. Okay, maybe that will just start to help. Combine the two together. Maybe that will keep the soil nice and wet, but also moist. But I don't want it to get too... Oh my gosh, I don't want it to look too chocolatey. Like, it almost looks like something that you make out of a cake or something, because see that? Yeah, I think it's the texture that's kind of a little bit nauseating from what I can see here. Yeah, I don't have that much compost, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, but that's all I can use here to try and grow my my strawberry seeds. I don't see that much. Right, I'm gonna probably put it into somewhere that's a bit warm, but I have to find. Oh well. I'm actually going to leave this video here because I won't show you what I'm going to be doing later on, but yeah, that's all I'm going to contend with. So that's probably about it in this video. I haven't got that much stuff to get into yet because I'm still very busy at the moment. I'm just working on other projects and stuff. And I'll tell you what, my daily life, it just goes on and on. And, you probably won't be able to see me doing other frequent stuff on YouTube these days. Anyways, if you really enjoyed this video, please give the video a very good like, subscribe for more flat videos in the future, and as always, thank you very much. And I do apologise for being one of those rough and ready video makers on YouTube. It always seems to happen like that these days. Okay, that's it. Bye now.